بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh everyone, and welcome to the class. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our sins of our shuyukh, our parents, our beloved ones, and may Allah grant us tawfiq so we can benefit in this lesson. Bismillah. Last week we completed the saying of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قالت, that's Bilqis, the queen, the ruler of Saba. قالت إن الملوك إذا دخلوا قرية أفسدوها وجعلوا أعزة أهلها أذلة وكذلك يفعلون. So she mentioned that as a fear for not to submit to Sulaiman, one of the fears that not to submit to Sulaiman, not to go and to him as Sulaiman ordered or commanded them to come. She said, إن الملوك إذا دخلوا قرية. That's after also her senior members of her government or her empire advised her indirectly that we can fight. We can stand for your wealth and we can fight. How? Because they said, وَنَحْنُ أُولُو قُوَّةٍ وَأُولُو بَأْسٍ شَدِيد. The only things they mentioned it to her, they said, we are a people of number. We are big in numbers and we are strong. We are really severe and strong in war. So meaning here, if you want to go and attack, if you're going to defend, we are for it. That's what they said to her. Not clearly, is indirectly as we said. So she did not take their consultation or their opinion, because he said, in al-muluka, the kings, if they enter a town, they will destroy it. And we talked about different types of destroying physically and destroying mentally and ideologies as well, passing and spreading different ideas. And she knows that she is a sun worshipper and Sulaiman is a God worshipper. So he believes in Tawheed, and that will be for her, in her opinion, is a fasad, in her opinion. And also the fasad that she will think about, that they will destroy the land. We did also mention, because of the situation that we are in, we compared, or we talked about how in Islam, during the war, as people accusing us that we do this and that, and we showed you last week that in the chapter of jihad in books of fiqh, we are completely people that need to read that, and we showed you the ruling in Islam, how the Muslim or Rasulullah during his time when he used to fight the disbelievers, the rules that he set for the Muslims. Unlike nowadays, you see the fasad that the people are creating, bombing, destroying hospitals, young children, all of that. They're not caring about international law. They're not caring about anything. وَجَعَلُوا أَعِزَّةَ أَهْلِهَا أَذِلَّةً. And they make that even with this, جَعَلُوا أَعِزَّةَ أَهْلِهَا أَذِلَّةً, the Aziz, the one who was in power, the one who was respected, the one who was noble amongst his community during when the Islam comes, and those who they were defeated, the Islam gives them respect and gives them, the honor. They give them, they treat them in a different way. They don't treat them as they treat the normal soldiers. But in there, this is Bilqis saying, the others, and she was fearing that Sulaiman will do the same thing, those who are aziz, those who are noble and important in their community, they will become the lead, they become humiliated and have no respect. That was her fear. Because of that, she did not want to go to the solution that was suggested to her, which means that they're going to fight Sulaiman. So then she said, وَإِنِّي مُرْسِلَةٌ إِلَيْهِمْ بِهَدِيَّةٍ فَنَاظِرَةٌ بِمَا يَرْجِعُ الْمُرْسَلُونَ. This suggesting from her. None of her members of the cabinet said anything like that. And that's to show you how was she smart and she was clever. She said, I will be sending to them. We covered this ayah as well, isn't it? About the hadiyah. I think most of it, or maybe, I think we talked about the hadiyah. So, إِنِّي مُرْسِلَةٌ إِلَيْهِمْ بِهَدِيَّةٍ. She said, I will send a gift to them. She didn't say to Sulaiman, to them, means that she is, if I may use this word, she is attacking, intending to see and test everyone in Sulaiman's senior people around him. So Sulaiman alayhi salam, as well as the important people around him. So she will send them a hadiyah. We did talk about last week about the ruling of hadiyah in Islam, and whether you are workplace, are you allowed to receive a hadiyah from the people or not allowed. We talked about that. And also we talked about Rasulullah used to accept the hadiyah, but we showed that how Sulaiman did not accept this hadiyah here because it was kind of a bribe, not a hadiyah. She wants to test him. And Sulaiman, he understood that he's a Nabi of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed him about that. He was able to know that. And he knew that it was from Bilqis or from the king of, the queen of Saba. She was only testing him with this hadiyah. She said, that's what she said, فَنَاظِرَةٌ means I will be looking, I will be observing بِمَا يَرْجِعُ الْمُرْسَلُونَ what the Mursalun, those who he sent them to them. They said the person who was sent by her, his name is Al-Mundhir ibn Amr. He was the head of the team, the delegation that was sent by Bilqis to them. The hadiyah that she was sent, the scholars of tafsir, just to, because you might read that in the books, the many narration in there is none of the narration that you read in there from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So there is no one narration. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, the Sulaiman's gift, he received this and that, nothing like that. The only narration that we have mentioned in there is from the Tabi'een. And the Tabi'een, as you all know, that they narrate from Ahlul Kitab, from the people of the book. They learn that from what was narrated by Ka'b al-Ahbar and others, and they narrate as narration to benefit. And we did mention also before the ruling of using narrations of Ahlul Kitab. There are three rules for that. If the narration contradicts with what we have in Islam, then you are not allowed to narrate that. So for example, Allahu khalaqa sab'a samawat, Allah created 7 heavens. You will have one narration from Ahlul Kitab. We call it in books of tafsir, you hear the word Isra'iliyat. Isra'iliyat from the word Israeli. Israeli from Israel. And that's referring to Yaqub alayhi salam from that. That's what they refer to Ahlul Kitab, the narration from them. It can be a Christian narration, a narration can be a Jew narration, so it can be from both of them. So if it contradicts what we have in facts in our religion, you are not allowed even to narrate that. Narrating that and mentioning that is not allowed. And that's where comes the hadith of Rasulullah in Sahih al-Bukhari. He said in حدثوا عن أهل الكتاب ولا حرج. Narrate from the people of the book and there is no haraj, there is no objections. Sorry, this is the first. I mix between the two types or two categories. The second category, this is what the hadith is relating to, and opposite of the hadith, it goes to category number 3. So if you have some narration from Ahl al-Kitab agreeing with what we have in the Quran, we say that we believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the water from heavens, from the earth, and then Tufan, the flood, happened during the time of Nuh alayhi salam. Ahlul Kitab in their narration mentioned that as well. So that's fine. You mentioned that narration and there's no issue about it. And that's what Rasulullah said, Hadithu an Ahlul Kitab wala haraj. You can narrate from the people of the book and there is no objections of that. Second or third category, so one category, 1 and 2, they are opposite of each other. Contradicts with what we have in our religion, you are not allowed to narrate that. Agrees with what we have in our religion, fine, narrate that, but don't rely on it. Don't rely on it as an evidence, because the evidence is what we have in the Quran and the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The third one, it is something our Sharia kept quiet about it, did not say anything about it. You read in Surah Al-Kahf, we know that the Ashab al-Kahf, the people of the cave, went in there and with them is a dog. Do you know the name of the dog? Do you know the name of the people who went inside the cave? We don't know them. Allah did not mention them. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not mention them. But you go to Tafsir ibn Kathir, you go to Tafsir al-Qurtubi, you see all the names are there. Even the name of the dog, even the color of the dog, everything in there. And they're giving you even the jobs of each one of them. So all details, you find them in the books of tafsir. These are Isra'iliyat. These are narration of Ahlul Kitab. Now what is the ruling in this? It is fine, you can narrate that. Because our deen, our religion, it does not go against it. We don't have any narration goes that you should not do that. The Sharia kept quiet about it and will not have anything about that. So you can narrate it is out of just It's mainly about stories. It's mainly about stories, giving names, giving details. It's fine to go through that, but don't rely on it as something really solid and authentic. All of this introduction is to come into talking about the hadiyah in here. Al-hadiyah, they mention in books tafsir that she sent 500 in one narration. Another narration, she sent 100 ghulam. Ghulam, it means young boys. 500 the female slaves. 500 male slaves and 500 female slaves. Another narration, 100 male slaves and 100 female slaves. She made them to wear the most expensive jewelries, gold, silver, everything. She beautified all of them. And she said to them, to the boys, she beautified them, the boys, she made them to wear female clothes. And the boys made them to wear, the girls made them to wear female clothes. So the opposite gender, so for each one. The boys, they're wearing females, and the females wearing boys' clothes. And she said to them, to the boys, speak like girls if you've been asked, and the girls speak with a tough and rough voice as boys. All of that to test Sulaiman whether he's going to recognize them or not. And she sent with them other stuff as well, and she sent them to Sulaiman. As soon as they arrive in there, Sulaiman, the one who receives the wahi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who's been supported by jinn, animals, everything. In narration, it was said, Al-Hudhud, remember Al-Hudhud, he was there. Al-Hudhud was waiting for the message. He found out all of this, and with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, told Sulaiman, and Sulaiman, he knew all the trick that Bilqis wanted to do. But this is a narration, was mentioned from Ahl Kitab. We know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that she sent a hadiyah, a gift to Sulaiman. And that gift, generally, the Anbiya, the rules, the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should accept the hadiyah as long as it is not like a bribe. So someone is trying to change his ruling or his mind about something. Okay, so we'll move on from that. The ayah 36. So he said, Allah said, فَلَمَّا جَاءَ سُلَيْمَانَ. Who جاء? When he came to Sulaiman. And جاء here, the head of that delegation, it was said, Al-Munzir ibn Amr, his name, the top of those people who was sent by Bilqis to Sulaiman. فَلَمَّا جَاءَ, we could say Al-Munzir ibn Amr. Again, Munzir ibn Amr was mentioned in the narration of At-Tabi'in. There's nothing from Rasulullah sallallahu about this. فَلَمَّا جَاءَ Sulaiman, when he came, attended, he arrived to Sulaiman's place. قَالَ أَتُمِدُّونَنِي. Who's قَالَ? He said. Said, in Arabic language, listen to this rule. If you have two names mentioned before and you have a verb after that, the pronoun who said that statement will all the time goes into the closest one mentioned after that. And who's closer here? Sulaiman. So qala means Sulaiman said. Sulaiman said, أَتُمِدُّونَنِي بِمَالٍ فَمَا آتَانِيَ اللَّهُ خَيْرٌ مِمَّا آتَاكُمْ. Two sentences in here. Sulaiman said, أَتُمِدُّونَنِي بِمَالٍ. If I would say it, not in a Quranic way, if I'm reading that from an Arabic text, and if I'm going to use, you know, the, what do you call them? The symbols, the signs of writing. Here, someone saying something with anger and with astonishment. Which sign you should put after the word bimalin? Yes, because أَتُبِدُّونَنِي بِمَالٍ. That's what really is saying it. If I'm going to read that, not as a Quranic text, I'm going to read it as an Arabic text. أَتُمِدُّونَنِي بِمَالٍ. Are you giving me wealth? You're sending me. You don't know me yet. You don't know who am I. You're sending me money, wealth. I'm Sulaiman. I have all the power. Look to my wealth. Look to my kingdom. So that made him angry and made him also at the same time astonished and surprised. أَتُمِدُّونَنِي مَدَّ يَمُدُّ, from al-madad. And you know madad. You know, back home people are saying madad, yeah. Is it allowed? No. Don't. No. Abu Hanifa never said that's allowed. Not Hanafis. No. That's people who are attribute themselves to an Hanafi. No, that's against the Tawheed. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam died, so you don't seek the madad. You seek the madad from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The madad, the asking help from Rasulullah during his life, but he died. There's no, you can't seek the help from that. So people are saying, madad ya Rasulullah, or those who are believing in the Ali and Fatima and all this madad ya Hussein and madad this, that's all haram. That's all not allowed. Yeah. If you believe inside that really that person can change and has got the power and can change and has got a qudra, then that goes into the level of shirk. If you say that a statement, just a statement, and you're seeking help, they might go into just being an innovation in bid'ah. So we have to be careful. But the word madad, from madda yamuddu, it means to support, to give, and he said, atumidunani, it means you're giving me. Mal, the word mal in Arabic language, when we use it, we straight away we refer to money, but it's not just money. Mal is wealth. Al-malu wal-banuna zinatul hayat dunya. Wealth and children, not money, is wealth. Because the wealth of the Arab, if you think about it, it wasn't money. The wealth of the Arab was animals, lands, power, some different things. So people they're having land, some people are having children, some people have cash, some people have gold, so different things. So malin is wealth. فَمَا آتَانِيَ. Now the response of Sulaiman to that, the second sentence, he said, فَمَا آتَانِيَ اللَّهُ خَيْرٌ مِمَّا آتَاكُمْ. That is the great tawheed, the great, someone is referring to Allah. What Allah gave me. فَمَا آتَانِي, what Allah gave. آتَانِي, what means آتا يؤتي. Do you remember the word آتُ الزَّكَاة? We did talk about it before. آتُ الزَّكَاة is from the same root verb. فَمَا آتَانِي Allah, what Allah gave me, what Allah blessed me with, what Allah gifted me. خَيْرٌ, خَيْر, خَيْر, better. The word khair in Arabic is all the time, think about it. We say khair even in Urdu, isn't it? In your language, maybe other languages. Khair, originally it's akhyaru. It is a-kha-ya-ra. And the harakat is a-akh-ya-ru. That's how its origin. But the way how we say it, it became not easy in the mouth, isn't it? We drop the hamza, the beginning letter, and we change it, the harakat, the haraka of the kha into fatha, so we say khair, and it became khair. Similar to that, opposite of the word khair, what is it? The one who learned Arabic at the back there? Opposite of khair, start with a sheen. Shar. Same rule. Shar is asharru. Akhyaru, asharru. But in Arabic now, all the time in the Quran, whenever you read it as khair, read it as a shar. But its origin is like that. I'm saying this origin because all the time, when you need to understand the meaning of khair, you get to use it in that way. Now, he's comparing between two things. What Allah gave him and what Bilqis is giving. So which one is... So that's why in Arabic, when you're comparing between two things, we're using something called ism tafdil. A verb, a noun that makes tafdil, comparing between two items, two things, two groups, two whatever in there. So use af'alu. Do you remember that? Af'alu, akhyaru. But we don't use akhiru, that pattern, we use the word khair. So what Allah gave me is better than what you are trying to give me, or what you sent to me. خَيْرٌ مِمَّا آتَاكُمْ is better than what you are giving to you. And of course, that is with no doubt the empire and the wealth of Sulaiman. The empire of Sulaiman alayhi salam is greater, it's bigger and stronger than any other empire that was on the land at that time. And that's with no doubt. And you see some other details in the other surahs, maybe it's not in here, how it was the palace of Sulaiman, the wealth of Sulaiman, and we'll see inshallah. So we can't go through that, we'll go through the ayat, only what we have in here. So he said, بَلْ أَنْتُمْ بِهَدِيَّتِكُمْ تَفْرَحُونَ. You, in fact, with your hadiyah, you are happy and you are showing the happiness with just that amount. You think that is too big, 500 slaves, let's say all together 1,000 slaves, male and female, or the other narration 100, 200 slaves. Do you think that's all what you have? I have the jinn, and I have the birds, and I have the animals, I have the humans, I have big army. And that's why they're saying when this Al-Mundhir ibn Amr came, he made the full army to stand on the right and the left to show them. And that's maybe nowadays you see the some countries where people comes to visit them, they will make two lines. One line here, all the senior people, all the different types of servants in the country, make them in there to show them the power. In the narration of this, when Sulaiman welcomed this the delegation, he made all his army to stand, one on the right side and one on the left side. So when they come with that gift, they will feel embarrassed that, oh, they have all of this. What is this gift? You hide it. You try not to show it. Because that's nothing in comparing with what you have in there. And that's why you see it's showing off for them in there. Showing off for your all izzah and all your nafs. You're not showing off for the sake of Allah. Sulaiman showed all of that to show them that you come believing in Allah. You have to submit into the deen of Allah, and that is La ilaha illallah. And Sulaiman at that time, he was the messenger of Allah. So that is the reason of that, is because of this, not because to show that I have all of this and nothing to do with Islam. Islam is just on the side, nothing to do with that. So that's two different things. Don't use that as an evidence to show that we're showing our izzah. Our izzah based on what? As you Pakistani, as you an Arab, Saudi, or Emiratis only, or you showing izzah as a you Muslim. That's different. Do you agree with me, brothers? You look like... okay. Okay, then the following ayah, Sulaiman alayhi salam said, Irji' ilayhim. Rejected the gift. That is really strong. The Anbiya of Allah, that's what we said before, they will not reject. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he accepted the gift. That's good, that because now it's irji' ilayhim, we'll talk about something else. And we said here, if you remember, we said bribe earlier. It's not allowed for the Anbiya or for anyone to accept it if it was a bribe. But generally you're allowed to accept the hadiyah. If you remember, early time in the life of Rasulullah sallallahu in the seerah, Rasulullah sallallahu he sent messages to the kings and to the rulers. One of these rulers, he sent a message to Al-Muqawqis. Do you know Al-Muqawqis? Al-Muqawqis, he is the ruler of the Copts, in the Christian Copts in Egypt. And have you heard of a companion with the name of Maria and Sirin? Maria al-Qibtiyya and Sirin al-Qibtiyya. Have you heard of these names, sisters? Maria and Sirin? Huh? Maria is, well, there is a ikhtilaf between scholars. What is a marriage or was a slave? So there are two opinions. But let's say Maria was the Prophet ﷺ's wife. You don't know that. Al-Muqawqis, where Rasulullah sent to him a Sahabi telling him to accept Islam and to, this is the da'wah of Allah and this is the Islam, he did not accept Islam. He did not accept Islam, but instead he sent to Rasulullah a gift. And in that gift, he sent him, it was said, you know the donkey of Rasulullah, and it was said his name is Duldul, it was sent by Al-Muqawqis. He sent to him a number of things, a comb, which made by the Egyptian at the time, they are advanced people. For that time, or advanced people during that time. He sent him a number of, they are in the books of Sirah that listed the item, the gifts was sent by Al-Muqawqis. And he sent with him, with that gift, Maria, the two sisters, Maria and Sirin. Maria stayed with Rasulullah, and Sirin was married by Hassan ibn Thabit, the poet of Rasulullah, the one who used to say the shi'r. Have you heard of the Sahabi? His name is Hassan ibn Thabit? Okay, you need to strengthen your level of knowing the senior Sahabas. Okay, so the point is, why mentioning this? Rasulullah accepted the gift while Al-Muqawqis rejected the Islam. He did not accept Islam, but the Prophet, he accepted the gift. So, and he, Sulaiman, he rejected the gift, and he was sent by someone, he sent him the same scenario. He sent a message to them to accept Islam, both of them. This one, both of them rejected at the same time. Both of them sent the gift into the Nabi Sulaiman, Nabi Muhammad sallam. Sulaiman rejected that. Muhammad sallam did not reject that. So what is the difference between them? Can someone give me some analysis, some thinking about this? Huh? Tawheed. What do you mean? Excellent. It was said, one of the different matters between the two scenarios in here, the gift was sent by Al-Muqawqis, he's from Ahlul Kitab. And the gift was sent by the Bilqis, was a mushrika. And Rasulullah ﷺ said in early time, in one of his ahadith, he said, أنا لا أقبل هدية مشرك. We do not accept the hadiyah of a mushrik. However, just for your knowledge, the ulama they said this became abrogated rule. So you are allowed to accept a gift from a mushrik as long as it's not bribing and it's not something that you get to forget about your deen. You're giving you a gift, you feel shy, you feel embarrassed to say to him, I believe in Allah. That's the situation of some Muslims, because you and your neighbors, sometimes you say, okay, you know what, I don't want to disturb my neighbors, because if I continue saying about Islam, I might, they react in a different way. Or a person that is sending you a gift, you have a good, strong relation with them, and you never talk to them about Islam. Islam, you're living because of Islam. The Islam should be there, as we talked about in this class many times. Da'wah should be there all the time. So that's the difference between both of them. And the other answer that was mentioned, they said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was not in power at that time. He was not in a strong position in this, as Sulaiman alayhi salam was. Sulaiman was in a strong position. He was very powerful at the time, unlike the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that was the situation. So irji' ilayhim, go back to them, return to them. Irji' raja'a yarja, to return. Ilayhim, to them, to Bilqis and her people. And now listen into the threatening in here from Sulaiman, from the izzah out of Islam, not izzah out of a nationality, color, wealth, whatever who you are in there. The izzah when it comes out of Islam is so strong, so beautiful, and will be supported by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, when you show your izzah because of your country, because of your nationality, because of who you are, or skin or something like that, or your qualification, that will not get support from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he said, فَلَنَأْتِيَنَّهُمْ. This is a qasam, this is an oath. And the oath, the evidence of that is the lam. Can you see the lam at the beginning after the fa? That's lam, we call it in Arabic, lam muwatti'a lil qasam. There is a qasam in there. And the verb itself with the shadda at the end, noon with shadda, that shows you there is a qasam. Means, wallahi, by Allah, by the one that my soul in his hand, whatever the qasam that Sulaiman used at the time, there's a qasam. Why in Arabic language sometimes we drop the al-muqsam bihi, means the one that we make qasam by, and that's Allah. That's in the Arabic language is very commonly, and in the Quran you see that a lot. So you'll find one particle in there indicating that there is qasam, there is an oath in there, and that is the lamb. فَلَنَأْتِيَنَّهُمْ, by Allah, we will go to them, we will come to them. Na'ti, ya'ti means we will attend, we'll go to them, we'll be there. بِجُنُودٍ, with army, with soldiers. لَا قِبَلَ لَهُمْ بِهَا. They cannot stand against it. لا قبل لهم بها. You cannot really imagine it. This is the izzah of a believer. A izzah of someone who is with a tawheed, when you are having someone challenging you as a mushrik from the other side. Similar to this, it happened by the ruler of Ar-Rum, Hercules, during his time, because in the word Hercules, Herakl, it is a title given to any Roman ruler during the time of the dispute between Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala anhu and Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He sent, because Muawiyah closer to Ar-Rum in Asham. Muawiyah was in Asham, and he had as you know in the story and the history, that issue with Ali ibn Abi Talib, and they are related. They are cousins. If you look into the chain, the lineage, they are cousins at the end. So he sent to him that I can support you, I can defend you against your Ali. That's the Roman king sending that to Muawiyah. He said to him, he is my cousin. By Allah, I'll bring an army, and its beginning will be at your walls of your castle, and its end will be in my place. So that's when the Muslims, they used to have a izzah, and they know even my problem with my own brothers, it goes nothing when I see the enemy of Islam is there. And they don't get the support of the enemy of Islam against your own brother. Your own brother, who is the one who carries the same tawheed, the same deen, and you'll be questioned about it Yawm al-Qiyamah. In dunya you enjoy it, but Yawm al-Qiyamah you get to be questioned about that. So here, فَلَنَأْتِيَنَّكُمْ بِجُنُودٍ لَا قِبَلَ لَهُمْ بِهَا. When I read this all the time, I feel that, I just imagine if I'm allowed, imagine in my mind the image of Sulaiman at the time and the image of this army and those people, how they get scared with the word of Sulaiman alayhi salam. فَلَنَأْتِيَنَّهُمْ بِجُنُودٍ لَا قِبَلَ لَهُمْ بِهَا وَلَنُخْرِجَنَّهُمْ minha adilla. Another qasam. By Allah, I will expel you, I'll make you out of your country. لَنُخْرِجَنَّهُمْ. We will exit you, take you out minha, from your own empire. Saba, Allah mentioned that in the Quran. لَقَدْ كَانَ لِسَبَإٍ فِي مَسْكَنِهِمْ آيَةٌ. Allah said there is ayah. You know what does ayah means? Ayah means a miracle. Is a miracle that made the empire of Saba, Bilqis, is an ayah. Look Yemen nowadays. Look what is happening in Yemen. In the list of the UN, is one of the poorest country in the world. And ayah from the ayat of Allah was in Yemen, and that is Saba. Because of the water, because the people who used to run them and rule them. So that ayah, Sulaiman saying at the same time, we will make you to leave your country, or you will be a dhaleel, and we will defeat you. All of that. That's from Sulaiman. He is the one who believes in Allah, and they are the mushrik. وَلَنُخْرِجَنَّهُمْ مِنْهَا أَذِلَّةً. As Bilqis said, إِنَّ الْمُلُوكَ إِذَا دَخَلُوا قَرْيَةً جَعَلُوا عِزَّةً. She mentioned that the Aziz, he becomes dhaleel. And because you are not accepting the deen and you're challenging us, for Sulaiman, that's another thing as a reminder. For Sulaiman, how many options that he had? Only two options. Da'wah, you accepted. If don't accept, the war. And in Islam, how many options that we have? We mentioned that last week. How many options? Come on, brothers and sisters. Three. Islam, jizya, war. So there is no jizya in them here. He did not offer to them, pay the jizya and you'll be safe. But in Islam we have to pay the jizya and you'll be safe. So here, either you accept or war. وَلَنُخْرِجَنَّهُمْ مِنْهَا أَذِلَّةً وَهُمْ صَاغِرُونَ. الذليل, the one who's humiliated, and صَاغِرُونَ means small, same thing. That's just to emphasize the meaning, which is you will exit your homeland while you are a dhalil, while you are humiliated, and you are nothing after you were on all that izzah. So that was sent as a message, as a response to that gift was sent to Sulaiman to bribe him to check whether he's a Nabi or he is a normal ruler. And that's what she did. That's what she had in intention, to check whether he's a Nabi or not. قال يا أيها الملأ أيكم يأتيني بعرشها. Sulaiman, after that, now going into action. After giving the threatening, is not words only. Can you see all of this? These are the lessons, brothers and sisters. When we read the stories, we learn lessons, and we see the people how they support themselves with their iman. Not, I'm repeating this, you might get sick of my words, because it's something really all the time. We make mistakes. We say, I'm Pakistani, or I'm this, I have that qualification. Your qualification, your money, your skin, it's nothing. What is who you are? Because what you have inside your heart, of your deen, your Islam, your tawheed. That's the main thing. So when Sulaiman alayhi salam sent that threatening to Bilqis, to the Saba, is not words only to be said in the media and no actions. Yeah, give the freedom to Palestinians. Yeah, the Palestinians should have that. How many years we hear that? For how many years? And Nakba now, how many years? Since long time. We hear these words and no actions. And words are saying just to keep keep people busy and keep people, comfort the people, and that's all. Sulaiman said, قال يا أيها الملأ أيكم يأتيني بعرشها. O Mala, O my people, the senior people. If you remember, we said about 313 before. That's the number of Ahl Badr, which is, there's no evidence about that. Al-Mala is the senior people, and you get senior people because of either their wealth, because they have to support, or their opinions, there are skills in there. So this is the senior. And people that bring people around them, and they have nothing. They have no opinion, nothing to consult and give. They look into all their own benefit. But what you should have around you, the people who are going to, when you consult them, they give you the right view and the right idea. قال يا أيها الملأ, O Mala, أيكم, which one of you, أيكم, who will be, يأتيني بعرشها, will bring to me her arsh. Specifically mentioned al-arsh, because for the kings and the rulers, if you lose your arsh, it means that's a big humiliation, a big thing. Al-arsh is the throne that she used to sit on it. And you will see, sorry, you feel, here's an eye, I missed it. Yeah. When Bilqis left to come to Sulaiman, it was mentioned, we will come into that, she took her arsh, she put it in a house in 7 houses. Now think about it. In a room, in 7 rooms. In a palace, in 7 palaces. You understood what it means? Now this is room. She put the throne in this hole. This hole, outside of this hole is built inside 7 other holes. And the 7 holes built in a palace inside other 7 palaces. Just imagine the empire. Imagine the beauty, how big was their land, how huge they used to have their empire. She kept in there, and she said to the guards in there, no one is allowed to come in there. Very secure place. I think the most secure place in the world is not like what Bilqis used to have before. So that's how she kept her. But Sulaiman alayhi salam, the first thing that he wanted to show, to humiliate them, he said, I want her arsh قبل أن يأتوني مسلمين. Because Sulaiman knew that they're going to submit, they're going to lower their heads, and they will come to us. They will come as Muslims. So he wanted to have the arsh before they come as Muslims. She left in the way, and Sulaiman, after he was informed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about this, as the Tabi'een said in the tafsir, he suggested, or he said to his Mala, I want someone to bring to me her arsh, her throne. And قبل أن يأتوني مسلمين, before they arrived to me there. If you remember, going back to the story, it was said that Sulaiman was in Mecca. It was said Sulaiman was the outskirt of Mecca, and somebody saying that Sulaiman was in a Ta'if, somebody saying that Sulaiman was in a Sham. So if he was in a Sham, which is Syria, or Palestine, or the Middle East, very far for them. It's a long journey to go through, all from the Yemen until you get into there. From the Sabah's place, which is Sad Ma'rib, until nowadays is known the place, until you get into Sulaiman. So that is what Sulaiman wanted, and actions, straight away actions, not words. قال عفريت من الجن قال عفريت من الجن أنا آتيك به قبل أن تقوم من مقامك وإني عليه لقوي أمين. I feel that I missed some ayat because no, we did that. Yes, that's fine. So one of the al-mala of Sulaiman, as we learned before, that al-jinn, they are under the power of Sulaiman. Allah made the jinn to work for Sulaiman alayhi salam. So قال عفريت من الجن. One singular person from the jinn is called Ifrit. Al-jinn, or you can refer to a jinn, a singular one is a jinni with the ya. This is to do with the the kind of the nature of the creation. It can also, you do that in a religion. With someone like a Yahud, you say Yahudi, Nasra, Nasara, Nasrani. So you add a ya at the end to refer to one singular person. A jinni, it means from the jinn. Or you say ifrit, and ifrit is a male of the jinn, or one singular person from that. They're saying in Arabic language, they're saying to someone who does not sit in one place, moving around and very, well, we say active. We say in a polite way, an active boy or active girl, you say, he's a ifrit. You're a ifrit. They use that in Arabic language. So you might hear it and they don't mean to insult. It means that he's very active. As you know, al-jinn, they move around us. Maybe they are here, they listen to us, and they move around us. We don't see them, but they see us, and they are very flexible, and they're faster as well. They live longer. So there is world for the jinn, and maybe one day we'll talk about them. We did talk about them before, but in a brief information when we start talking about the army of Sulaiman. So قال عفريت من الجن, one of the jinns offered to Sulaiman. He said, أنا آتيك به, I will bring it. أنا آتيك به, look to the power. أنا آتيك به قبل أن تقوم من مقامك. Sulaiman was sitting in his maqam. Al-maqam is al-arsh. Maqam is a place. Now he's sitting. How long is it going to take him? How long is it going to take him to stand up like this? Okay, maybe a king wearing so many garments and the place is big and maybe it will be heavy for him, takes him time. It takes him, let's say, 5 minutes to get up from there. Let's say. And he said, أنا آتيك به, I will bring it to you before even you stand up, before you get up from your arch, from your maqam, from your seat. That is Ifritun min al-jinn. Look the power that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to the jinn. And because of that, let me highlight something in here. You know, when people, they go into some peers and some people, they're saying, oh, they know so much, they know about this. You look, they have the power. Because the jinn works for them. You see now how the jinn are very quick and flexible, and they hear. In old days, the time of Musa alayhi salam, the time of Isa alayhi salam, the jinn, they used to be allowed to go up to the 7th heaven. They go through the angels, and they used to hear what the angels, they are talking to each other from what is in the Lawh al-Mahfuz, the revelation that will come into Musa, the revelation will come into Isa. When Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent, the sama was completely protected and the jinn will not be able to go through. They used to go up, and that's what described in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They used to hear here and there, a few things here and there, and they add the lies into that, but they could not go through. It was, the sama was protected, and that's to protect the revelation, the wahi of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the jinn, when you have someone who is trying to, he or she saying, I'm trying to help you, but they're using the jinn in making magic, or curing someone or helping someone in a good way or in a bad way, they're using the jinn. The jinn will go out and hearing everything, and they come to them and tell them everything. It's not the person who's sitting in front of you. How the person sitting in front of you will know your mom and your dad, knows all your life. As soon as they come from the door, they see the person, the jinn will give them the update, everything. It's like a computer, a screen comes up, everything will be read about that person. And that is the power of the jinn. The jinn will not serve you, my dear brothers and sisters. The jinn will not serve those people who are having this power, unless if the person commits a shirk and kufr. Something, it will be an action more likely takes the person out of Islam. And that is a story is mentioned even by those people themselves who repented after that. Some of them are saying, I was told to throw the mushaf inside the toilet. Some of them say that I was told that to urinate on the mushaf. And they did that. It's an act of kufr, with no doubt. The jinn after that will serve you and will give you all what you want, and you'll be seen by the others that you are powerful, you have mashallah ilm al-ghayb. So this is only the jinn are created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For Sulaiman, he was allowed to, there was in his army, he's allowed to use them. But for us, a fiqhi issue now. Is it allowed for us to use a good jinns for a good things? Are you allowed to marry a jinn? Is a fiqhi mas'ala. Some ulama, and you might be surprised in the history, they're saying so and so he married to a jinniya, and his wife was a jinniya, and they're having children from that. They mention, you see some similar stories in the life of the Muslims, and to have them serving you is a fiqhi mas'ala. I'm saying when I say fiqhi mas'ala means there's khilaf about it. The right opinion, you should not have that because you don't see them. When you don't see them, how are you going to have that deal with them? How are you going to have is the right information given to you, so that you're causing more trouble, more problems to you and the others that you are with you, and you should not do that. I'll give you a story of someone who is pious, righteous person from us, lives in London. I'm not mentioning the name. None of you here knows the person. This person went through difficulty in his life. Somehow, one day, when I'm saying pious, I see him in the masjid. I see him in the masjid 5 times. Someone with qualification, someone with sound mind, someone is qualified person who works with qualification. I'm not going to mention what is qualification, so your mind goes into thinking about a person. Then he went through difficulties in life. Somehow his wife wants to commit a suicide. She was on the roof of the house and she wanted to throw herself. Somehow then she was pulled back. After a while, I mentioned now, I want to think the story not in the right order. A jinn came to him. He said to him, I'm the one who protected your wife from committing a suicide. I'm the one. He mentioned to him some incident happened in a school that he used to work in abroad. And he said, I'm the one who protected you from so and so and when she did this and that. And he started introducing himself to them. He started writing, and his brother is sending me the writing. I said, I can't tell this is a writing of a human or writing of a jinn. There's no differences. He said, he sent me this writing. He wrote to him that he said that his age, 5,000 years. He said, I met Isa alayhi salam. I was there at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I attended the battle of Uhud. I attended the battle of Badr. And he's telling him so much details about all the Islamic history. And he said his age 5,000. So I advised the person not to use him and not this. So he said he comes to me time to time to visit me, and he talks to me what I'm going to do. Imagine that in that situation, what are you going to do? Well, the brother, at the beginning, he was worried and he was scared, but then he became used to it. But it can happen, but you should not. Now, because you don't see him, you don't know the person, 5,000 years, that's big number. They live longer, but we don't know how long they live for. We don't know that because we don't deal with them. Rasulullah sallam, the Anbiya, they do. Rasulullah was sent to them. That's his duty between him and Allah. Rasulullah used to talk to them, but not us. Not us. Because we have nothing to do with them. They are different nature, different people. So, قال عفريت من الجن أنا آتيك به قبل أن تقوم من مقامك. I'll bring it to you before even you stand up from your place. Very, very fast, very quick. وَإِنِّي عَلَيْهِ لَقَوِيٌّ أَمِينٌ. He told him about his quality, that don't worry, I am a qawi. I can bring it because big and huge and heavy. And Ameen, I protect it. I'm a trusted person. I will look after it. So 2 things when you give a duty. The duty when it's given to someone, you need to show that you have the qualification. And that's what I'm going to highlight, because the story itself is known to you. But we need to look into the lessons. Now this duty, he wants to take this duty. He introduced himself as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that he's a jinn. It means that he's fast, he's a quick, he knows about it. And he said to him, not just that, I might reach into Saba in less than a second. And also I can return back into Asham or to At-Ta'if in less than a second. But will I be able to bring it, the whole arsh, which is big, and cover the description? I don't want to go through that. Mentioned to you, the description has mentioned books of tafsir. How many gold, how many jewelries and types of expensive, items was put in her arsh, her throne. We don't need to go through that. To bring that from there, to Sulaiman, and whether you are a trusted person to look after it or not, that's another thing. Sulaiman or the jinn, he mentioned all of this. Anyone? It sounds from that? Not sure. Sulaiman alayhi salam, or the jinn, he introduced himself with these qualities. So I am a jinn, I'm a qawi, I'm an ameen. When you get someone for a job, you need to have the right qualification for that job. If you are, let's say, an engineer and you get to work for medicine, then well, that's it. You qualified. You qualified from Oxford as, electric engineering or mechanic engineering or whatever in there. And you're saying, okay, I'm going to go into pharmacy, work in the pharmacy, become a pharmacist. Can that work? You qualified from Oxford. Yeah, mashallah, you're educated. It doesn't work because that's something that you don't know how to do it, how to deal with it. For everything, there is people that have to deal with it. I'm a qawi, I have the quality in here. I'm strong. So protection. You need someone to protect it. I'm an ameen, I'm a trusted person. He introduced himself as an ameen, and that's allowed to show that, to give that quality to yourself. I'm an ameen, I will look after it. I will not don't think about anything will be lost from it, and I'll look after that. So this is something that we need to consider it when our community, our people generally, us, we bring people and we offered something, or we work in some places and people they look back at our home, our country. Back home, you see people are in power who are not qualified to be in there, and that's why you see the whole country is in a mess. Why? Because X person brings his cousin, X person brings his nephew, his this, his that, and put them in power and ruling, and they have no clue how the country should be driven forward into the best. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. I'll stop here inshallah because of the time and the end of the ayah. We'll continue inshallah with the ayat next week. Jazakumullah khair everyone. I hope that you've learned something.